Live from Tom Fujitani Field on the campus of Wilton High School is the first of two FCIAC semifinal contests for the 2024 postseason. It's the Rams and the Wreckers, New Canaan and Staples, facing off in this first one. You're watching on DAF Media Network and NCTV, a co-broadcast between two schools, bringing you this one. Myself, PJ Neville, alongside Caden Leslie and Will Jennings for this one. And Will, I'm going to start with you. On the away Staples side, away kind of, obviously it's a neutral site, but who are you looking out for to get it done for the Wreckers?
Yeah, obviously your eye immediately goes to Adam Udell, the Michigan commit. He's been one of the best attackmen in his class this year. However, New Canaan, they have a ton of depth at pull. They're going to throw William Hayes at you. They're going to throw Bryce Lyden, and they got a ton of guys that close defense that are, very stout defenders. So you're going to have to lean on those middies and try and initiate from the top of the box today. Yeah,
and then Caden, last year, the Rams beat Staples at Norwalk High School by a score of 9-5, and then lost in the championship to Wilton, who is hosting this one. Wilton obviously got knocked out last round by Staples. So what the Rams need to do to repeat that feat and beat the Wreckers again?
Well, PJ, I know you brought up that FCIAC semifinal win by the Rams from last year, but I was more focused on that win earlier in the season by New Canaan, a 5-1 win at the expense of the Rams. And I'm looking for their defense to, step up again. That was a 5-1 game, right? Only conceding one goal to the Staples offense. I'm looking for guys like Dylan Stevens, who balled out in that last Staples game, to, put on an even better performance today. And, that's what the Rams are going to need to do if they want to win this one.
At the face-off dot, it'll be JT O'Neill for the Rams and Jay Anastasi for the Wreckers. Two very talented players at the dot, and JT O'Neill wins that one. He dominated last time out against Wilton and does it again, winning that face. But then Josh Marcus makes the save right off of the opening shot by O'Neill, and Staples goes into the clear. In the middle of the field, that's Max Marullo, the D-mid. Slipped up there. Garcia pounces on it. Ball loose on the ground. Along that sideline, no one has it. Whistle blows. That one's going to Staples. So the Wreckers look to settle it down on offense. Up top, defended by Garcia. That was Halke. Now is Schaefer. Schaefer defended by Will Hayes. That's going to be a matchup to watch all day today. As now it's in the alley with Udell. Adam Udell dodging off of the right wing, defended by Stevens, forces him below GLE, and out in front, shot scores. That's number 20. We don't have him rostered. Our apologies here. But Wreckers go up on the board first, 1-0 in this FCIAC semifinal. And, if deja vu ever proves itself right, the Rams went down 1-0 last time and then held a shutout throughout the rest of the game. It was a very early goal out of Staples, so who knows if history repeats itself. We could have a very, very tight contest today.
Yeah, I think that's another matchup right there. The Udell-Dylan Stevens matchup. We thought that Udell might invert at X today, but there he's just dodging from the wing, dodging to feed, and gets an early one.
And that shot saved by Cam Lyden. Although we have a push in the back, flag is down on the field. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. Jay Anastasia won the face immediately, took it down, and had a point-blank shot. Looked like Cooper Smith came flying off the wing and hit him in the back. I think he's going to have a penalty, and the Rams will be man down here. Not where you want to be early.
Well, yeah, going back to that Cam Lyden save, right? That's a great save that you want to make after conceding a goal like that, especially, less than 1 minute into the game, right? That's a great confidence booster. Now the Rams man down are going to need that confidence if they want to hold that Staples team to 1 goal.
So it will be Staples in the alley, starting with it. Now up top to Halke, across to Udell, to Schaefer, back to Udell, back to Halke. Now with Iannone. Now Staples starts the cycle here. Halke fakes the flip. A little bit of a hidden ball trick there. Schaefer steps in, gives it back to Halke. Now down low, and that one scores. Charlie Clark with the goal, and the Wreckers go up 2-0 early in this one. Looked like he might have been on the crease. Referees are going to give it a good goal.
Yeah, and just right there again, you know, the rotation, the slide a little bit late. Looks like New Canaan's been overplaying, you know, the top of the box, and, you know, Staples kind of catches them lacking at the crease. It's just one more dish to the back door and an easy goal. Something that you don't see out of New Canaan a lot. Their man down has been great this year. They bring in Roeder, and they usually play very stout defense, but right there they catch them a little bit, you know, hesitant on the slide.
Yeah, we saw the replay there. It definitely was a good goal. No crease violation, as there was a violation on the face-off, and the Rams will get it started on offense here. Settled down now with Henry Laddick up top. And just going back to that first goal, that one was scored by number 20, Hunter Pili. Sorry we didn't have him originally rostered. As Campese dodges down the alley, finds Finnegan up top, back to Campese. Campese dodging with his left, splits to his right, rolls back. Now down the alley, passes out in front. Rogan Lowe's shot. Nice trail check from the record defender, and Marcus makes a save. Now Josh Marcus out of his crease, running up the field. He'll give it across to Skolnick. Now up in the middle of the field with Schaefer. Schaefer takes it in the box and settles it down, defended by the offensive midfielder in Campese.
Yeah, this is Staples, arguably their best two-way midfielder, Tristan Schaefer this year. They haven't had a ton of scoring depth. It's been a lot of Udell and Burmeister, but Tristan Schaefer's a guy you want to watch here today. Yeah,
I remember back to last year in that regular season matchup between these two teams. Schaefer, I believe, had 4 goals in a 7-6 buzzer beater win for Staples. So he definitely has experience against this Rams team, as he'll be defended by Will Hayes today. The short stick off to Denver, or sorry, long stick midi off to Denver. My apologies. As Clark is dodging on Ireland at X, now with Udell in the alley. Udell rolls back, gets top side, then rolls back down the alley. Now to Hockey. Back up top with Udell. Iannone trying to dodge on Garcia. Iannone meets a brick wall there. Now he dodges down the alley, and the lefty shot scores. Charlie Iannone with the goal, and the Wreckers go up 3-0 early.
Yeah, another midfielder right there. If you want to talk about Tristan Schaefer, you got to talk about the senior Charlie Iannone. He's going to RIT next year, and what a shot there. Gets his alley dodge, catches his defender overplaying him a little bit, and just splits to the left down the alley and rips it home top shelf.
Yeah, that was a great move to beat Garcia there on that split dodge. And now 3-0 for Staples. The start that they wanted, the start that New Canaan did not want. So let's see how New Canaan responds to this just relentless pressure by the Staples offense.
It's going to be Anastasi once again with the win, and he's got a 4-on-3 break. Steven slides. Udell shot scores. Adam Udell with the goal. And the Wreckers go up 4-0 early.
Yeah, very simple play there. Anastasi gets the clean win on the faceoff, and it's just a draw and dump to the wing where Adam Udell is set up for a step-down shot, and he puts it low and away. And the Staples Wreckers, to a lot of people's surprise, they're up 4-0 against the 1-seeded Rams.
I think you got to compare the energy between these two benches, right? Staples bench, very alive, very passionate. They're celebrating. New Canaan, there's just silence from that bench. And, 4-0 start. New Canaan really needs to respond to this if they want to really have a chance and, crawling back up that score ladder.
O'Neal wins that one, slipped up, and Staples will look to clear here with Marcus. Marcus sends it across to Smith, Caleb Smith, who's the quarterback for the Staples team during the fall season on the football team. And now, he's a pull for the Staples defense. He's headed off to UConn next year to play some football. As it's with Udell in the alley. Udell up top to Iannone. Iannone defended by Garcia. Garcia just signed his letter of intent to Washington and Lee yesterday. Now behind with number 13, Nick Wheel. Up top, back with Iannone. Iannone splits, gives it back to Udell. And a big check from Sullivan doesn't go, and that one scores. Number 4, Cam Pryor, the junior, with the goal. Rams call a timeout, down 5. Just about 5 minutes into this one.
Yeah, right there. Just a good cycle by that, midfield group for Staples. They're able to work it towards the middle of the field where they find Cam Pryor, and he's just one move on the roll dodge, opens up, gets a better angle, and just strikes one to the bottom of the net. Staples is just electric right now on the bench.
Yeah, and you got to compare that energy, right, to when New Canaan also, they scored 5 goals against Staples. Now they're down by 5 goals. So New Canaan really needs to use this timeout to their advantage, right? Talk about what's not working, maybe reevaluate the defensive structure, and just try and get at least an offensive possession, right? We've only seen really just one settled offensive possession that really ended pretty quickly. So the Rams really need to get some offense going, but also prioritize their defense as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all quiet on the Rams sideline. Caden, you talked about it. It's only one offensive possession here, something that we really, we saw the Rams dominate the possession battle in that regular season matchup. And it was really due in part to JT O'Neal winning all those faceoffs against Cisco Soleto. And now, they put Jay Anastasi there, 2 very talented Fogos, both of them. And, it seems Anastasi has had O'Neal's number all day long.
Yeah, back to what you're saying about the face-off text, right? New Canaan's really relied on their face-off game to, get them those offensive possessions against these tough FCIAC opponents and out-of-state opponents as well. When you look at that Seton Hall game, was really decided by JT O'Neal's win on the face-offs. Lacking that today has really proved to be their weakness, right? Staples has possessed mostly the entire game on offense, and that's just proven to be New Canaan's kryptonite.
So now Anastasi and O'Neal back at the face-off dot. Rams have 2 players back in an attempt to stop the break as Anastasi just won it backwards. Both players slipped up a little there. And Anastasi conducting a little bit of a break. He'll pass it off. And the Rams go to work on the defensive end, trying to get something, force a turnover. Tomasco defending Charlie Clark. Udell behind at X, lost his defender. Leiden picked him up well. Flag flies, delayed penalty on the Rams. Udell and Leiden, 2 Michigan commits. Michigan on Michigan, 2 juniors here.
Gets
as that's
the flag.
another flag. That one on Hayes. Behind with Charlie Clark at X. Now with Schaefer up top to Halke. Now Iannone dodging down the alley. He'll pull it out. They blow the whistle. And the Rams will go double man down here. Unless maybe it was 2 penalties on Hayes. I'm not sure.
Again, we want to remind you, you're watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and Darien Athletic Foundation. As we look at this man-down situation, it looks like Will Hayes just got caught on the 2 slide there, and he was, obviously getting a little aggressive. He got him in the head right there, Adam Udell.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be 2 penalties on Hayes. Obviously, there's the initial flag and then the one that came after. As Halke will pass it up top to Udell. Udell to Clark in the alley. Back to Schaefer. Now with Udell to Halke. To Udell. Udell really the main facilitator for this Staples squad. Up top as Schaefer gives it to Halke. Now with Iannone. Udell on the wing. Up top, Halke inside. That one scores. Once again, Cam Pryor with his 2nd of the day. And Staples goes up 6-0 just about halfway through this first quarter.
Yeah, and that's just good ball movement there. They're really getting everyone involved. Usually we see Udell kind of orchestrate this offense from X. However, they're moving him around a lot. They put him on the wing there. He's drawing a ton of attention, which is opening up that crease area for easy looks. And that's another one there for the Wreckers.
Yeah, you look at the Wreckers, majority of their goals today have just come within the crease. Just that great passing, finding a cutter inside the crease. And aside for those couple goals off of split dodges in the alley, it's mostly just been great passing and these face-off wins, obviously, that have gotten the Wreckers their goals today.
So Anastasi will give it back to Marcus. Now with Marullo, back to Marcus. As Josh Marcus, with time and room, will walk it up. He'll find Schaefer along the midline. He'll take it over. Hayes trying to keep him out of the box. Schaefer running along GLE, now takes it behind to X. Tristan Schaefer will give it over to Iannone. Up top with Udell. to Halke. Halke looking to maybe dodge down the alley. Back up top with Schaefer. Now to Udell. Iannone up top with the short stick of Liam Ireland defending him. Iannone will take him down to X. And Halke will not be able to contain that pass as it goes out of bounds. Garcia will pick it up, give it to Jack Kroll. So a goalie substitution in for the Rams here. No Cam Lydon after the 6th goal.
I think he conceded 5.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
5. As Ireland now stepping in. Liam Ireland lost that ball. Good check there.
That's not what you want to do if you're New Canaan, right? You want to settle that one. That was not a great, move to, just shoot it. You want to settle it around, work it around, because if you're New Canaan, right, you've only had 1 offensive possession so far, so not the right move there.
Marcus across to Smith, and yeah, the records were off.
Especially
The records were off sides there. I think they're giving them a timeout. They were.
you definitely don't want that move right from a defensive midfielder as well. Would have been wise to pull that ball out and get them a possession at the end of the quarter here. They're down 6, and they really do need to, set up an offense because we haven't seen them do that all day.
Yeah, so turns out that wasn't offsides. On Staples, looked like Coach Kashansky might have been trying to save them with the timeout, but it came just a little too late. As now Max Lowe will give it up top to Cole Campese. Finnegan comes across the midline. Will get the ball. Finnegan with the short stick on him. That could be a matchup the Rams want to take here. The short stick of number 16, Max Hill, the freshman. Now up top with Laddick. Henry Laddick will give it to Cole Campese. Campese to Laddick, back to Campese on the wing. He'll dodge below. Now roll up high. Trying to get top side. Cole Campese decides to pass it off to Max Lowe.
We're seeing some pretty good on-ball communication here from the Wreckers. New Canaan not able to really get the matchups they want thus far.
And a bad pass from Laddick goes out of bounds. This one's going to Staples here. It's going to be Skolnick who gives it to Marcus. Across to Petrosino. Sam Petrosino to Caleb Smith over the midline. Smith trying to find a pass. Still has the ball. And now he finds Marullo wide open. Max Marullo shot scores. Max Marullo with the goal. And the Wreckers go up 7-0 with 3:30 remaining in this first quarter of action.
And Staples is not even playing the sub game there. That's just a defensive midfielder kind of lost in transition. You think he's going to come off, maybe sub for a two-way guy, and he just stays in the game, and he picks apart the middle of the field right down Broadway there and just puts it home.
Yeah, it's a great use by the Staples team, right, to, pick apart this New Canaan team that's pretty much been playing sloppy all day, right? They've conceded 7 goals in, less than 1 quarter of play. So Staples is really just manipulating that, using it to their advantage. They're not laying off the gas pedal, and they're trying to put this one away as fast as possible.
The Wreckers dominating right out of the gate here as O'Neal goes in for a face-off once again against Anastasi. And it has been all Staples throughout the first 9 or so minutes. That one, a violation on Anastasi, and O'Neal will pick it up. JT O'Neal takes a check straight to the leg. He'll feed it to Finnegan. Finnegan can't handle it. He slips up. And this one is going to Staples. Marcus finds number 16, Max Hill, in the middle of the field. Hill walks in, will pull it out. Now we'll give it up to Schaefer. Tristan Schaefer up top. Looks to Wheel. Now with Udell. Udell back to Schaefer. Kind of the 2-man game here for Staples. Garcia defending Halke along the end line. To Wheel now. Up top with Udell. Udell looking to dodge Stevens. Stevens backpedaling. And that shot way wide from Udell. Looked like Stevens got a good check on him. But Halke will be back there to retain possession for the Wreckers.
No need to rush right now if you're Staples. That chase game, getting those balls off the end line are going to be very important. However, they're, definitely have settled down their offense, playing a lot of transition in the first quarter, but now they're just, getting around, getting their touches because they've got, this 7-goal lead right now, and they just need to maintain that.
Charlie Clark to Nick Wheel. Wheel inside, and his shot scores over Jack Kroll. Actually, never mind. They're going to wave that off. Looked like he was in the crease. And Kroll will give it off to Dylan Stevens. Stevens looking to clear the ball. Give it back to Kroll. Jack Kroll to Bryce Leiden. Leiden taking it through the midfield. Udell throws a couple of checks to his former Michigan teammate. Leiden's pass, not a good one. Petrosino trying to get out of there, and the timeout comes from Coach Will Kashansky's squad. And the Wreckers get a timeout and possession with 1:40 left in this first quarter, up 7-0. Complete domination by the Wreckers here. Rams really need to get something going and fast.
Kashansky, one of the best, coaches in the FCIAC. He played in the MLL previous to this, and just a great timeout right there. You got Bryce Leiden on you when he's got some of the best on-ball pressure in the state, and that's just a good play there. You know that you're about to lose that ball, probably get stripped on the sideline, and just to get that timeout off and, keep this possession and go to zeros with this possession, it's a smart call there from Kashansky.
Yeah, going back off of that timeout, you called the play that led to that, right? Just another errant pass from New Canaan. That's really been the theme of their offensive possessions today. Only one really settled offensive possession, which also ended on an errant pass. So if you're Coach Buzzio, right, you're telling your guys to, hey, we're down 7, but we got to, control the ball on offense. We can work our way up. Lacrosse is obviously a very fast-paced sport. You can notch, 7 in, the course of this game. So their focus is obviously on their defense, preventing more goals. But, you got to get some goals on the board if you're New Canaan.
Yeah, we see in college lacrosse all the time some big, even double-digit point comebacks just basically every other week. So it's definitely possible for the Rams to come back here, but they really need to find something going on the offensive end. They forced a couple of defensive turnovers, and, the face-off game is probably the best aspect of their game, and they're splitting it 50-50 right now, just about. So it's going to be tough for them to get back into it, but they definitely have the potential to.
Yeah, definitely Buzzio going over some game plan there, but I think, like you said, Caden, just taking care of the ball and, really valuing your possessions now, being down 7. A lot of these errors being unforced. I think New Canaan just has to slow everything down and try and, get to their main sets. I know they like to dodge from the wing and try and get back into this game, bit by bit.
So it'll be Petrosino in the alley. He'll find Marcus. Marcus around his crease with pressure from Doster Kroll. Kroll gets on him. Marcus just decides to huck that one. Tomasco can't handle it, but Leiden gets it. Bryce Leiden through the midfield. He'll look across to Liam Ireland. Ireland takes it in touch. Will flip it to Max Lowe. And the Rams now looking to get some offense here behind with Doster Kroll. Kroll, defended by Skolnick, will take him to the wing. Doster Kroll looking to dodge. He'll go. And Doster Kroll's shot wide of the cage. Max Lowe will be back there to pick him up with 55 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Kroll looking to dodge once again. Or sorry, he'll have the ball in the alley, defended by Caleb Smith now. 2-star Division I committed athletes. Rogan Lowe out in front. His shot saved by Marcus. Ball loose in the air. Petrosino got it and gave it back to Marcus. As Marcus gives it to Petrosino. Petrosino up to Smith. Caleb Smith will settle it down. Give it off to Marullo. Max Marullo up top, defended by Luke Reed, the offensive midfielder. Not a matchup the Rams want, as Reed able to get off the field. Stevens defending Udell with 10 seconds left to go. Staples has got to go now. They want a last-second goal. Stevens doing a great job keeping him outside. Ball loose on the ground. And that will do it for your first quarter of action. The Wreckers currently lead by a score of 7-0 in what has been an offensive domination by them. And Caden, I'm going to start with you. What does this Rams team need to do to get back into it? I mean, you know, there have been maybe 2 or 3 bright spots for them, but really nothing going too well for the Rams.
Yeah, on the topic of that question, PJ, I say they need to do a little bit of everything, right? They need to clean up their defense. They really just need to find their set and just lock off guys, prevent guys from, dodging and finding those passes in the crease. On offense, really just hold the ball, right? Don't make those unforced passes. Don't make those unnecessary passes, across the field to one of your short stick D middies, right? Just really settle the ball, let your offense run like we saw at the end of that first quarter, right? The Rams need more of those possessions if they want to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, and then the Wreckers in the driver's seat right now. What do they got to do to just, kind of maintain this lead and keep it up?
Yeah, I think the Wreckers have played this really smart today. You don't want to dodge on these, New Canaan defenders. They're very good on the ball, but the Wreckers have stretched out this New Canaan defense. They've played east to west today, and they've really gotten the ball around well. They've worked a ton of touches at the top of the box, like I said in the pregame. They've initiated almost all of their offense from their midfield, and I think that's something they got to keep doing. Take advantage of those shorty matchups and avoid guys like Tomasco, avoid guys like Stevens, and I think they're clear and, kind of in the clear to win this game.
Yeah, and this has been a rough one for the Rams. I mean, the defense, this is the defense that has a D1 commit sitting on the bench right now, and Braden Roby. Obviously you can't have 4 close defenders out there, and they've got 3 D1 commits out there, and then LSM and Will Hayes. So, very talented defense, just not showing their colors right now.
And once again, you are watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and Darien Athletic Foundation, as we get into the second quarter of play between O'Neill and Anastasia.
Yeah, so O'Neill and Anastasia at the face-off dot.
Another
jump by
violation
Anastasia. That's 2 or 3 today, as O'Neill will get that one, and a bad pass goes over the head of Max Lowe, and Staples will go to their clear once again. Josh Marcus will pick it up along the end line.
Yeah, New Canaan's going to have to win some possessions in the ride this game because these unforced errors are just mounting up. It's looking like we have double digits at this point of just turnovers, pure turnovers every time they touch the box.
Yeah, and connecting to that, right, Staples' clear has just been so effective that New Canaan, they normally ride really good, right? Their ride really hasn't just been effective at all today, and Staples has just taken advantage of that and gotten so many offensive possessions.
So Sullivan will defend Schaefer at X. This is a matchup the Wreckers want. No long stick on the Colgate commit. Tristan Schaefer. As Sullivan looks to prevent him from going to his strong hand, he will go to the left and find Iannone. Iannone's shot scores. Charlie Iannone with the goal. And the Wreckers go up 8-0. Not even a minute in to the second quarter of action.
And how about the senior, Charlie Iannone, having a day here. The RIT commit hasn't really seen a ton of playing time this year, but he got his name called today, and he's put 2 away early. That right there, that's just an open wing step-down shot, and he's able to go 5-hole from a pretty good angle, basically above GLE.
Yeah, great shot there by Iannone. He's one of the main reasons why Staples is up by 8 goals. We're not even done with the first half. The Staples is up by 8 goals, and this is just absolute domination by the Wreckers.
So that one won by Anastasia. Sorry, got loose in the air. Looked like he had it, but Petrosino came in off the wing and got it. Now stepping in, he'll give it off to number 21, Will Fleming.
Kind of an unsung hero here today. I know he plays his club with Express North, but we haven't really talked about Iannone a lot this year, and he's just come to play. A big day for the senior in the Staples offense.
As Wheel will take it down the alley, give it behind to Pryor. Cam Pryor will dodge on Ireland, and that's a bad pass from him. The Rams attack wasn't even paying attention. Coach Buzzio is livid as Kroll will pick it up. Lucky over and back, and Will Hayes with the shot. That one
that is not
sails
the shot
high
there.
of the cage. Might have been a possession shot as Lowe was back there. He'll give it to Kroll. Kroll with the short stick of Max Marullo on him. Doster Kroll just trying to bully dodge. He lost that ball. Henry Laddick came through, couldn't pick it up. Doster Kroll got it back. Big hit. Both players stay on their feet. Kroll looked to Rogan Lowe. And that's going to be a turnover for the Rams. Once again, Staples looking to clear.
Yeah, Doster under clear duress right there. Had to win the ground ball and then force that to the crease. He's feeling all that on-ball pressure. He's just trying to get it out of his stick. He's taken so many checks this game. And right there, just another turnover for the Rams.
That one behind with Fleming, defended by Leiden. Now in the alley with Schaefer. Up top to Iannone. Records with a little bit of an unsettled 5-on-4. Iannone's shot sails way high. And that one will be backed up by Halke.
Yeah, that was a great, passing sequence there from Schaefer and Iannone, right? That's pretty much what we've seen all day. And it's really allowed Staples to, get these quality goals. They're up 8-0 now.
Udell down to Halke. That's a bad pass. That one out of play, going to the Rams. Rams need to get some momentum going here. Garcia will give it to Kroll. Now with Gray Tomasco. Tomasco, the Richmond commit, will give it back to Kroll. Jack Kroll in the middle of the field to Thomas Garcia. Garcia can't handle the pass. Ball is loose on the ground. Halke fighting for it. That one out of bounds, staying with the Rams. Rogan Lowe will pick it up, step into play. Now taking it into the box. Rogan Lowe will settle it down, give it up top to his brother Max. Now to Campese. Cole Campese waiting for his substitution to come on. Laddick comes in, defended by Petrosino. Back to Campese. Campese with the short stick of Hill on him. Ball loose. That one will stay with the Rams. As it goes out of play right along the Rams' end line. So Kroll will pick it up there. Defended by Caleb Smith. Kroll whips a pass to Max Lowe. Max Lowe defended by Max Marullo. The short stick D-mid at X. As Lowe eats a slide from Petrosino. Loses the ball, however.
That's a great slide right there, and that's something that Staples has been doing all day. They've been timing those slides almost perfectly around the crease, and they get another.
As Udell gets that one to go. Adam Udell on the little bit of a fast break, and the Wreckers go up 9.
Yep.
9-0 is your score.
That's just perfect defense to offense right there. You see how they time that slide, that 2 slide gets the ball free from Lowe, and then they work it right up the field immediately. Basically skip, the transition game. They don't even have to run that ball out because it just goes immediately to Udell, who has an easy step-down look inside with basically no contest.
I mean, yeah, Udell's just been perfect all day. He's basically been just owning this New Canaan defense as Staples now goes up by 9. We're close to running time here, and we're not even in the second half. And these are 2 of the top teams in the FCIAC. This is just an insane game.
Yeah, I don't know what happens. Whenever it comes to playoff time, the Wreckers really, just turn up to another level. Wreckers obviously being the reigning state champs 2 years in a row, seeking a third. As that one up top to Pryor, he'll give it to Wheel, and now with Iannone. Iannone taking Will Sullivan to X. Iannone looking to dodge. He'll put it in his left, pass it up top to Charlie Clark. Now back with Pryor. Bryce Leiden playing defense on him. Now with Pili at X, defended by Garcia, up top to Pryor, across to Iannone. Charlie Iannone draws the long pull of Gray Tomasco. Now Will Sullivan on Charlie Clark. Clark, brother of Tyler Clark, the all-time leading point scorer in Staples history, off at West Point this year as his shot sails high. Garcia will be back there to get possession for the Rams. Thomas Garcia taking it in. Giving it to Jack Kroll. Kroll just going to run this one up. He's got all the time in the world. He'll find Stevens over the midline. Dylan Stevens will look to Will Sullivan. Sullivan takes it in, gives it to Max Lowe in the alley. Lowe taking his defender, number 40, Ryan Skolnick, to X. Draws the short stick of Marullo on him. Now to Finnegan up top. Colin Finnegan to Max Lowe. So they got Petrosino on Lowe now. Lowe takes a screen from Kroll. Will give it back to him on the roll. Doster Kroll got his defender hung up above GLE. And he finds Rogan Lowe out in front. Or sorry, that was Max Lowe.
Another great save from Marcus. I mean, he's just been unstoppable today.
Caleb Smith, a brick wall. Or sorry, not Caleb
Josh
Smith.
Marcus.
Yeah, Josh Marcus. Caleb Smith was clearing that one.
We've
But
seen so many doorstep looks, too, from New Canaan that Marcus has just eaten up.
Max Lowe looked across the crease to his brother Rogan.
I think he
Rogan
slipped. A
Lowe
lot of
bobbled
players
that,
have been
yeah.
slipping up today on this turf. I don't know what it is. But
And Max Lowe gets the D-twig on Petrosino. A little bit of momentum now. Doster Kroll's shot goes way wide. And the Rams lose the possession once again. Coach Buzzio is telling him to settle it down.
Yeah, Doster trying to shoot around his defender there. A little bit of a screen. And that's something he does very well above GLE. But right there, just kind of a forced shot. Nobody there to chase and back that shot up. And just like you said, PJ, settling it down. You know, New Canaan's got to do that for this remainder of this game.
Skolnick will take it in. Give it off to Hill. Hill with a little bit of a fast break. He'll take it in, getting it in touch. And give it off to Clark. Charlie Clark now running along GLE, and that shot scores. Caleb Smith with the goal. And the Wreckers go up by double digits here. It has been all Staples so far. The Rams.
I did not think we were going to see a pole goal from Caleb Smith today, the Yukon quarterback, getting his name on the stat sheet as well. And it's just been an all-out parade for the Wreckers. Right there, they just lose the pull in transition, maybe playing a little bit of a sub game on the field there. And it looks like Caleb Smith found himself in the right place at the right time, right on the doorstep for another one for Staples.
Yeah, and Caleb Smith, right, disregarding the stats, right, he's just been playing solid defense. And the Wreckers defense as a whole has just had that level of ferocity that the Rams have we just haven't seen from New Canaan today. And I think that's in part to why they're down double digits, not even halfway through this game.
So great Tomasco comes out here for Braden Roby. A little bit interesting here. One of the Rams captains coming out on the defensive end. Obviously has not been a very stellar showing for them.
Yeah, and now we've seen both a pole goal and a defensive midfielder get their names on the board here. So really Staples coming at New Canaan from every angle and really bringing everything they have. But it started at the faceoff X.
As the flag flies, Max Lowe with the ball. Flag down on the field. Doster Kroll back to Max Lowe, and Lowe gets that one to go. The Rams with a little bit of momentum. Max Lowe gets the goal, and they cut the lead down to 9. Yeah, the flag down on the field.
Very good two-man game there from X. And it looks like Max Lowe just elevated from GLE. And, you know, it looks like either his brother or Doster found him there cutting towards the crease. A little bit of a C cut there. Lowe gets hung up at the crease, and he's able to just sting that one home.
Yeah, finally some signs of life for New Canaan, right? It's a great goal. You can see the crowd obviously getting the energy that we really haven't seen today. So let's see if New Canaan can use this, you know, get some momentum, get a couple more goals, and, you know, at least get out of this half trying to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, and the Rams need this face-off here, man up, so they'll be able to settle it down in their offense as JT O'Neal wins that one. Garcia looks to pick it up on the ground. He finally does, as the Staples player wasn't released. Or he wasn't allowed to release. He looked like he stepped out of the box. But I think Coach Buzzio called timeout first. So the Rams with the timeout looking to settle it down on the offensive end. With the man-up opportunity. 4 minutes left to go in this first half. Rams showing a couple of signs of life, but Staples really in the driver's seat for this one.
Yeah, right. That's a good timeout there by Coach Buzzio, right? You have the possession, right? You really want to make use of this. I mean, you're down 9. You need a couple goals to, at least get that momentum, right? 4 minutes left in this quarter. You could at least walk down, down 10-3. That would be pretty good, for your momentum. You have the entire second half to, build off of that. And, this is a good timeout by Coach Buzzio. Let's see how the Rams, stay composed even when down by 9 goals.
And again, with a little bit of extra time here, we want to remind you that you are watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and Darien Athletic Foundation. But just like you said, Caden, New Canaan got to claw their way back a little bit here. And I think that's a great start right there. It's getting, back to the fundamentals, what they've been doing all year, Low and Doster Kroll, getting that chemistry up, getting that two-man game working behind X. And that's a way that New Canaan can easily exploit this Staples defense.
So the Rams man-up unit out on the field right now. It's going to be Cole Campese, Henry Laddick, Max Lowe, Rogan Lowe, Doster Kroll, and Colin Finnegan. As Laddick will start it up top to Doster Kroll, to Finnegan. Now to Rogan Lowe. Back to Kroll, now to Campese. Rams get a little bit of a cycle going. Rogan Lowe down low, up top to his brother Max. Now with Doster Kroll. Rogan Lowe to Finnegan. Finnegan fakes a pass to Kroll, to Laddick, to Campese. Campese to Kroll. As Lowe steps in, gives it off, and Kroll's shot just high of the cage. But Laddick will be back there to back up the ball. And a little bit of a premature whistle. A little bit of confusion. 10 seconds remain on the penalty. Kroll to Campese to Lowe. Behind with Rogan Lowe. And Doster Kroll gets that one to go. Doster Kroll with the goal. And the Rams cut the lead down to 8. 2 straight goals for the Rams. Maybe showing a couple of signs of life in this one.
That's a great shot there by Doster Kroll. Will, that's great placement on the side of the wing. Great bounce shot. And, the Rams, they're clawing their way back up the ladder, as we were talking about, right? They still got a long way to go. But, I mean, this is better than nothing.
Yeah, and, just like you touched on, it's Doster Kroll who's really, had the duties of, being one of this team's, leaders and biggest scorers for so long now. And right there, he does what he does best and gets that step down, finally able to hit the net. And it's, you see what happens when he has that big of a step down shot and he just gets it on net there and it goes for him.
You typically see him go sidearm, but he went overhand on that one as Anastasi won that one. I think Rams fans were calling for a ward, but Coach Kashansky got the timeout.
Doster's definitely had a couple opportunities today. We saw him from the wing. We saw him, behind an X, but today, finally, just a confidence booster there. A guy like Doster, you need to get him going, one of your best players. He's able to find the net finally, and that's going to give this New Canaan team a ton of momentum.
Yeah, so the Rams, definitely need to get something going on the offensive end once again. If they're able to just get a couple more possessions and settle it down. Obviously, their offense has been clicking here the last 2 or 3 possessions, and, they've gotten on the board because of it.
Yeah, going back to, that offensive statement, right? This is a whole different story than we saw in that first quarter. That first quarter, there are only, I believe, 2 was just possessions that were longer than, 30 seconds, and both of those were lost on errant passes. So the Rams have really, found a new light on the offense and their defense as well, right? They've seemed, more calm, more collected, haven't been, taking those risks like, pressing out maybe 20, 30 yards from GLE. So the Rams have really been, more calm, more focused. And I think this is what they're going to need if they're going to want to claw their way back up that ladder.
So with just about 3 minutes left to go in this first half, Udell will get it started out of the timeout, defended by Stevens. Referee talking to Coach Will Kashansky. Not sure what the holdup is. As referee blows the whistle, Udell will take it down the alley. Stevens tried to force him out. Udell took a step in. He'll roll back again. Adam Udell along the end line. Pick from Iannone. Now with Halke, defended by Thomas Garcia. Rams getting ready to slide early here. Trying to isolate Garcia at X, the short stick D mid. As Halky will roll back, take it to the wing, give it up top to Iannone. Iannone across to Udell in the alley. Udell slipped up. Flag flies. Looked like Stevens hit him in the helmet there after Udell slipped. Now Schaefer.
And that's just an undisciplined, uncharacteristic mistake there from New Canaan, giving them way too many man-ups.
Ireland with the big push. Second flag flies. And Liam Ireland getting aggressive here. Multiple flags flying.
Staples going to get another
it's chaos here on the field.
A lot happening here. The first
Liam
FCIAC
Ireland just get thrown
semifinal.
out?
Yeah, Staples waving goodbye to Ireland. Looks like he lost his cool a little bit there at the end. Maybe one or two extra punches, one or two extra shoves.
Yeah,
But
it looks like Ireland's done for the game.
regardless of that, New Canaan can't take two-man down penalties there because we saw what happened to them in the first quarter. They got picked apart on that man down situation, and now they're here with the 6-on-4, basically going to be a box, not even a box and one, and they're going to have to hope the perimeter doesn't get hot.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, there's chaos, obviously, sort of classless, from both teams to, just go at each other like that. Ireland's ejected. Now you got Dylan Stevens in the box, right? Just as I was saying, New Canaan was starting to play more calm and collected. This happens, and, they're caught off guard. What really happens, what's really going to be important, right, is how they respond to this, right? You're two-man down. You're down 8. You're having that momentum. If you're able to hold Staples here, this is key for your chance in this game.
It's basically, if they're able to stop this 6-on-4, it's a bit of a sign of life there. And the fact that, if they can, concede 0 goals here, they'll, bring that into the locker room and hopefully be able to go off of that in its own way, a new form of momentum.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on here. I mean, tensions are high, especially on the Rams sideline. Obviously, both sides, both teams, all players want to win this one. Coach Buzzio talking to the referees. I don't know, maybe he thinks that there should be
maybe just like
some
one
other
penalty
stuff,
there,
assessed against Staples. I mean,
because
it
they
definitely
were
wasn't
going at it
a
too.
one-sided affair. I think the Staples players kind of came in and initiated it. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Escalated.
Yeah, escalated it.
And you got to remember, these two coaches very familiar with each other.
Eclipse
They worked
Lacrosse.
at Eclipse Lacrosse.
They worked together. Coach Kashansky was the defensive coordinator for Coach Buzzio before taking the Staples job.
These two guys, they know each other very well, and can only imagine Kashansky being with Staples now. Tempers flaring a little bit. It's got to be an interesting conversation down there.
Yeah, we'll see if anything results of this. As of now, it looks like Ireland is still in the game. He's going to be in the box, as well as number 47, Dylan Stevens.
So the referees going to take the field once again. I think the ball will start in the top right, top left of your screen, along that left alley. Halky will start with this one for the 6-on-4 look for the Wreckers. It's going to be Halky up top to Udell. And Staples looking to just hold this one with 2 minutes left on the clock in the second quarter. Udell up top to Halky to Iannone. Back to Halky to Udell. Now back to Halky. Hayes looked to maybe prounce on Udell there. Now fake the flip. And Schaefer shot high of the cage. But Iannone will be back there on the chase. Iannone to Udell. Udell along that wing, still has the ball. Tried to fake the flip again. Now Clark to Udell, back to Clark. Schaefer elevates as one penalty releases. Sullivan comes in. And Sullivan looks to lock off Udell here as the pass across to Iannone. He'll give it back to Halke, back to Iannone, down low. And Pryor inside, ball loose on the ground. Jack Kroll will pick it up. He gets slipped up there and just decides to toss it out of bounds.
Everybody's getting turf monsters.
Yeah, there's got to be something up with this turf.
I think Wilton definitely has a different turf. It's more of a dirt like, or maybe even sand in it. Not 100% sure, but not the same as what these two schools experience on their home turf. As the Rams successfully killed off that 6-on-4 penalty. Cheers come from the crowd.
We know one thing's for sure. That turf is definitely not Astro because of the amount of players falling here. I mean, there's just no chance that that's a coincidence.
And then you look at Staples, right? They've definitely not been falling as much because they've played on this. They've played on this stadium before this season against Wilton.
They just played last Saturday, and that shot from Schaefer goes high. Sullivan ate that one, and that will do it for your first half of action. Or sorry, referees whistling. I'm not sure.
Maybe
Rams already headed back to the locker room. Rams headed to the locker room. Turns out that won't do it. I think they're going to add a second. Oh, it's going to New Canaan with 2 seconds left on the clock. I mean, this is... I'm not really sure.
Yeah, might as well just call it time there.
Roeder waiting to just launch it. Staples crowding the box. Roeder will send that one, and that'll do it for your first half of action from Tom Fujitani Field on the campus of Wilton High School. Wreckers 10, Rams 2 in the first of 2 FCIAC semifinals.
Yeah, and again, you're watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and Darien Athletic Foundation. And what a showing it's been for Staples, picking apart this New Canaan defense today. Something that, we talked about before the game. We did not think that was going to happen when you got guys back there like Stevens and Tomasco, but Staples been able to stretch them out and really work the soft spots of the zone here today and get a ton of man-ups. So they're on a roll right now, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to stop them.
Yeah, they've really capitalized on New Canaan kind of playing, messy lacrosse, right? Really unstructured, unforced errors, just like being out of position on defense, right? And Staples just absolutely taking advantage of that, and that's why they're just dominating after this first half.
So that will do it from us for the first half of action. We'll be back to you for the second very shortly.
The Darien Foundation was founded in 1998 by Richard and Maureen Chilton, and the thesis behind that founding was to bring technology to the Darien public school systems. And that launched us, and that got us going, and through technology and capital project initiatives, we've now funded over $5.5 million over the last 24 years to build a better Darien.
Our board really likes to get involved and assist the partners that we collaborate with, whether it's a grant for a youth project or a grant from a community service, schools, the police. Often they come to us with ideas that we help them bring to fruition.
The Darien Foundation recently awarded the Darien Police Department 2 grants. One was for laser shot and the other for Faro technology. Laser shot technology is based on decision making. It may come down to using their firearm, but in reality, we would like them to talk the situation down where you use less lethal force, and this program allows us to do that.
Police, drop the gun!
Faro technology gives us a 360-degree view, catching all the points we need to catch in our accident scene. It also takes a lot less time. This allows us to open up roads, get traffic flowing a lot quicker than we ever used to be able to. We can also map the inside of buildings. We can use it at outdoor crime scenes, indoor crime scenes. It's really used for a plethora of investigations. It's a tool that most other departments may not have their hands on just yet, and thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have that technology.
At Home in Darien is a nonprofit organization that helps senior citizens to remain living independently in their home and in the community. We provide important services to help them do so, such as transportation. Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
From all standpoints, this is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide, both in terms of safety and comfort. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
Post 53 is the town's ambulance service. We respond to over 1,600 emergency calls a year. We're a vital service that has been here for 51 years. The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. You don't know how important an ambulance is until you actually need it. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all of this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared, to be well-trained and well-staffed, to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever you need it.
The Darien Foundation is really excited to be able to launch a new program for the Darien schools, which will benefit students K through 12 in all 7 schools. This is the new robotics program, which will be an extracurricular opportunity for students to build robots, compete against other leagues, and collaborate together.
Our robotics program is going to benefit students in so many ways. In regular classes, students are always looking for the right answer, that there's only one way to answer something. Robotics is completely different. In robotics, you learn that there are multiple solutions to every problem. You learn that you have these obstacles that you have to overcome. You have to really be a creative problem solver. And most importantly, you need to persevere.
Early on in the process, the Darien Foundation reached out to administration and they offered to provide funding for a project, and it just dovetailed beautifully to the goals of the strategic plan. I look forward to continue to work closely with the Darien Foundation, both on this project and other projects down the line.
We welcome ideas for possible grants. We'd like to do grants that promote and strengthen our community. Sometimes it's from an organization, sometimes it's from our emergency service partners, or it's from the Darien Public Schools. One of our most popular grants, which was the Playground by the Sound, came to us from 4 Darien moms who said, let's get together and figure out how to build this.
Thanks to the generosity of our board members and officers, every dollar you give to the Darien Foundation goes directly to the grants that we're supporting. I invite all of you to help us move our community further and support the Darien Foundation.
Are you enjoying this broadcast? If you like what you see on the DAF Media Network, please help support us with a donation. DAF Media is committed to education and broadcast excellence. Your support allows us to keep bringing you high-quality community programming while giving our student volunteer broadcasters hands-on STEM experiential learning of all parts of computer networking and video production. Your donations help pay for equipment, insurance, transportation, and our award-winning advisor, and make these broadcasts possible. To donate, you can scan the Venmo QR code shown here or visit our website at dafmedia.org/donate. The link to donate is also in the description of this YouTube video. For those of you who prefer a more traditional approach, checks can be made payable to DAF Media and mailed to the address shown here. Any donation of $1,000 or more will be recognized as sponsors of our broadcasts for 1 year. Feel free to pause the broadcast to write this down. Thanks for watching and supporting DAF Media. This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut. We are DAF Media, Darien's hometown source for sports, arts, and entertainment, established in 2017.
We Are Community, a volunteer-based organization that gives nearly 50 Darien High School students hands-on experience in video production. We Are Cutting Edge, a STEM initiative. Students use cameras, computers, sound equipment, and innovative software. We Are Live, streaming 120 events per year on our YouTube channel. We Are On the Stage. We Are At the Big Games. We Are On the Field. We Are In the Gym. We Are On the Move. Live streaming not only in Darien, but throughout southwestern Connecticut and the tri-state area. We are making a difference. We are DAF Media.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are back here live for the second half of action in the first FCIAC semifinal matchup between the Rams and the Wreckers. Staples currently leads 10-2 here at the start of this second half. There's a ball on the field. Halke just decided to kick it as he'll be defended by Liam Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland obviously, Ireland back in the game after those extracurriculars around the end of the second half. Really put New Canaan in a bad spot. They killed off that 6-on-4, kept some of the momentum going their way. Now they're looking to play some lockdown defense here, get the ball on offense.
Halke will start with it, give it off to Udell. Udell dodging down the alley, defended by Stevens. Back up top to Halke. Ireland playing some aggressive defense on him. Now Stevens gets slipped up there, and Halke's shot eaten up by Cam Lydon. Lydon with the good save. Bryce Lydon picks that one up. Will send it across to his brother. Cam Lydon looks to walk this one up. Give it off to Stevens. Dylan Stevens through the midfield. Makes a couple of defenders miss. And you'll give it off to Garcia. Garcia will find Doster Kroll. Kroll to Max Lowe, and the Rams look to get their offense going. Kroll defended by Caleb Smith here. Smith had a goal early in this one. Currently outscoring the guys defending. As still with Kroll, the ball is up in that top left corner of your screen. Now we'll find Finnegan, and Finnegan gets that one to go. Colin Finnegan with the goal through the 5-hole of Josh Marcus. And the Rams with some momentum coming out of that second half. To the start of the second half, halftime break.
That was just a great goal, great placement there on that shot from the side right by Finnegan, low to low. And now the Rams are trailing by 7, right? They keep calling up that ladder, 3 unanswered. And I think they're going to want to keep this up. And, they got a chance now. They got a really good chance to, get back in this game.
So JT O'Neill and Jay Anastasi will meet here for the second face-off of this second half. O'Neill wins that one. Gets hung up there, and O'Neill with the fast break. He had a shot. Looked like it might have gone, but Marcus saved it. Low stick side.
I mean, looking at how Josh Marcus has been playing today, right? He's been just essentially a brick wall, right? So, if you're New Canaan, right, you're not going to want to, take those shots on the fast break, right? You may have the opportunity, but I think it'd be better for them to, just pass it around, settle their offense down, and really look for the best shot to take on such a world-class goalie like Marcus.
And so far today, those best shots have been from the wing, from the top of the box, those step-down looks with guys like Finnegan and Doster Kroll. But, I completely agree. You can't rush it, and you can't really score in transition either on this goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, O'Neill, he's gotten a couple of those to go this year against, some
weaker opponents.
Some weaker goalies. But, none stronger than Josh Marcus. As Schaefer will give it to Iannone. Number 5 on number 5. Garcia on Iannone here. 2 Division III commits. Iannone to RIT and Garcia to Washington and Lee. As Iannone winds up in his shot straight to the stick of Cam Lyden. Lyden will look over, and a deep pass to Gray Tomasco. The Rams have a 5-on-3. Tomasco steps in, and he gets it to go! Gray Tomasco with the goal. And the Rams cut the lead down to 6 with a lot of momentum here. It looks like, deja vu almost, as Staples Wreckers had a huge run to start the first half, and now the Rams coming out in the second with a ton of momentum.
Yeah, that sequence was electric, PJ, right? The great save by Cam Lyden. Back in the game after being pulled in the first half. That pass to Gray Tomasco. Gray Tomasco says, I'm going to shoot that one. Great placement. Rams now down 6 compared to when they were down 8 going into this. This is a whole new team, PJ.
Yeah, and this is, there's nothing better than a pull goal, especially in transition, to get your fans, get your bench fired up. When they see that pull goal go from Tomasco, that's, a whole different level of, competitive play from the Rams.
Garcia picked that one up off the face-off win by O'Neill. He'll give it to Laddick. Henry Laddick will settle down the offense and get it started here with the long stick of Sam Petrosino defending him. Now to Finnegan. Finnegan being defended by Nate Marullo. Luke Reed with the short stick, freshman on him. That's Max Hill. Reed tries to bully dodge through him. Behind that X with Rogan Lowe. Lowe takes a screen from Reed and gets the short stick Hill on him. Rogan Lowe from up top. He looks to dodge with his left. Fakes the rollback. We'll give it to Reed. Reed taking a screen from Lowe. Will dodge along GLE, give it back up top to Lowe. Rogan Lowe. And now Henry Laddick down the alley, rolls back, slipped up, loses the ball, but Finnegan is there to recover it for the Rams. Almost runs into the referee as he'll give it up top to Rogan Lowe. Lowe down the alley, dodging and winds up in his shot just wide. But Finnegan backs it up. And Max Lowe will get it started in the alley. Doster Kroll will pick it up. defended by Caleb Smith at X. Kroll dodges with his left, rolls back, looks for a pass, doesn't have anything. We'll give it to Laddick. Henry Laddick defended by Max Marullo. Laddick re-dodge, and Laddick winds up. Oh, bad pass by him. Looked like he hesitated, but Kroll will keep it in and pick it up along the end line. Good hustle by the Rams. Now Doster Kroll, the stick in his left, puts it in his right, looking for a pass. We'll find Rogan Lowe on the cut, and Rogan Lowe's shot saved by Marcus. Great save by Josh Marcus. As now Caleb Smith with a 4-on-3 fast break. Hayes flying in from the box. Smith steps in, and that one scores! Number 55, Charlie Clark, shuts the Rams' momentum down and gets a goal of his own for the Wreckers.
And that's another unsettled goal for this Staples team. They've had at least 4 or 5 of those great looks today, and that's a 4-on-3. You know, they're trying to get Will Hayes back in on the sub game, and they catch New Canaan completely off guard there. Caleb Smith takes it all the way down. Looks like he's going to wind up to take the pull shot, and then he just puts it to the back door where, you know, the brother Clark right there is going to put it in for another Staples goal and kind of extend this lead.
Yeah, looking at that goal right there, I think that's a prime example of, you know, not matching feet on the ride, right? That guy just ran by unguarded, and that's just resulting in a Staples goal.
Now Anastasi wins the faceoff. We'll give it off to Udell, experiencing heavy pressure from Stevens. Stevens playing some good defense here. Now up top with Schaefer. Schaefer to Halke. Back to Tristan Schaefer. As he gives it down now to Charlie Clark. Behind with Halke. Looks like they're trying to get a little bit of a cloud look from down below. As up top now with Iannone, defended by Sullivan. Sullivan keeps him out. To Pryor, back to Iannone. And Charlie Iannone with the rocker dodge. Iannone, Canadian shot off of a defender. And
That's
Sullivan
51.
lays out for it. And the Rams get the possession here. Sullivan with a great dive. And Leiden will give it over to Stevens.
And we knew the Rams were not going to go out sad here. They're not going to go out
Stevens
cold.
slipped up there as he tried to just bulldodge a defender. And Halke will pick it up. Bad move by Stevens. I'm sure Coach Buzzio isn't too happy with that. As Schaefer has it, defended by Stevens. Schaefer up top. We'll give it across to Udell. Hayes on Udell. Now to Pryor in the alley. Cooper Smith playing out on him. Cooper Smith doing a good job playing the body at X. Up top with Halke. Sullivan comes out to play him. Now to Schaefer, back to Halke on the wing. He dodges to GLE. Cooper Smith with a good slide. Halke gets top side. Slide comes from Sullivan, and Clark couldn't finish on that one. Ball goes out of play. Going to the Rams. Staples, and I think that was Cam Pryor, who just didn't really hustle to that ball. Looked like he thought that it was going blue if it goes out, but instead it's going white to the Rams. Stevens back to Leiden. Leiden fakes the pass to Tomasco. He's got Campese in the middle of the field. Cole Campese rolls away from 2 defenders, and he's got a little bit of a break. Campese, and he sails the pass way high of Kroll.
Really good trail check there from number 15 for Staples. As Campese looked like he got away from pressure, but that on-ball pressure from Staples today has been very, there's been a lot of tenacity from those defenders, and that's a trail check right there to get the ball right back.
Schaefer stepping in, and we've got a failure to advance on Staples. Hayes will pick it up.
Whoa,
but the
that's
flag
not
on
the right
Hayes
move
for
there.
unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, Will Hayes
trying to flip the stick. It looked like the ball was covered by it. And that's just a bad move if you're the Rams.
That's not classy at all. That's not the play you want to make there. Now the Rams are going to be man down when they should have, had, a great opportunity to, resettle the offense, get closer in this game. And that's just not what you want to do in that situation.
Yeah, emotions were a little high there. Will Hayes just got a D-twig, basically got himself a clip, and then decides that he's going to flip the stick in celebration. But, they never get, when refs look at penalties like that, they're going to call you immediately because that's just, blatant disrespect to the other team.
So looked like an unsportsmanlike on Hayes. He looks frustrated on the sideline as Staples goes to work on the man up top with Udell, across to Halke, back to Udell, to Schaefer, now down low with Clark. Schaefer steps in, and his shot eaten up by Cam Lydon. Lydon with the fantastic save. He'll step out of the crease, give it off to Jackson Roeder. Roeder up the field to Finnegan. Colin Finnegan in the midfield. Draws 4 defenders, and then gives it up to Sullivan. Sullivan will get it in touch. Give it down to Rogan Lowe. And Lowe looks to kill off this penalty for the last couple of seconds.
And going back to that save, PJ, what a save that was, right? Cam Lydon just laid out for that one. Just great effort. Now the Rams are on offense. Way to kill off that man down. The Rams are definitely not going out of this one without a fight.
So now with Kroll at X, Rams still man down. Penalty just killed off with 2 minutes left to go in the third. And Luke Reed, with a nice look, cutting across the crease. He got it right back and tried dumping it over Marcus. Marcus playing very well here today.
Yeah, this
brick
has been
wall in between the pipes.
This has been an absolute master class from Josh Marcus today. I mean, obviously we talked about the crease looks, backdoor and whatnot, but even up top, cutting right through the box right there was Luke Reed, and he just gets stonewalled.
So Lowe lost that one, couldn't find anyone to help him. And Marcus will look up the field to Marullo. Max Marullo through the midfield. Will try to take it in. Finnegan trying to force him out, couldn't do that. And Marullo gets it in touch. We'll give it off to Iannone. Now up top with Wheel. Campese getting aggressive on Iannone, the offensive midfielder. Now with Halke. Halke being defended by Ireland. Just looking to settle it down here with only under a minute left to go in this first quarter. Staples looking to maybe settle for the last shot. Ireland trying to prevent top side on him. Halke still just holding the ball here, faking a couple of moves. Now up top with Adam Udell. 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Udell dodging down the alley. He's got a look. He takes it. And that one off of a defender. Flag flies.
Another man up for Staples. Just too many untimely penalties here today. And that's got to be, probably the 10th flag we've seen on New Canaan. It's just undisciplined, uncharacteristic of their defense. It's been one of the best defensive units in the state this year, and they're not showing their true colors here today.
Yeah, I think that word undisciplined really describes, the entire theme of this Rams game today, right? Really, some bad passes, some, just not being able to control your emotions out there. I think that's a great word to describe, the Rams' effort today on the field, undisciplined.
So Schaefer will start with this one in the alley. His whistle blows, not 100% sure. Sorry, Udell's going to start with it up top. Schaefer went to get a ball, but there was already one on the field. Now Udell's going to run it down to the wing.
And, regardless, this is a lose-lose situation for New Canaan because, Staples isn't going to try and score here. They're just going to
They're just going to hold this one, yeah.
They're going to milk the clock continuously here. And, New Canaan knows that, and there's a mutual respect between the two teams. But taking penalties like that is just more time away from your offensive possessions, and it's not going to help when you need 7 goals here in the last quarter.
Yeah, exactly. It is a very almost insurmountable task for the Rams, but Coach Buzzio is definitely talking to them, saying it is possible, and it is indeed possible. Like you were saying, PJ, we see double-digit lacrosse comebacks at the college level almost on a weekly basis, and only 7 goals needed now. New Canaan obviously erasing that deficit that that got them put in that hole early in the first quarter. But yeah, I think the Rams can definitely pull something off, and if you're Staples, right, you're just looking to put away this game. Look forward to the final matchup in which we see both teams arriving now, Richfield and Darien. This game will also be streamed on the DAF Media Network. Will, I know you're on the call for that, along with, I believe, Owen Heffron.
Yeah, that's going to be another great game. Of course, before the end of the conclusion of this game, we want to see how this one turns out. But, of course, regardless, at which team, either team here today is going to have to meet either Darien and Richfield, and those are 2 really good teams. I know Darien's looking for revenge if they do play Staples in the finals. However, we got to see if New Canaan can, get over this hump right here in the last quarter.
Yeah, the man-down unit coming out for the Rams. You got Jackson Roeder, a guy who's really, he comes out for the man-down units. He's got really good hand-eye coordination, able to get his stick in the lane of a couple of passes. Got Braden Roby, another guy, Boston U commit, who played for a lot of the early parts of the season. Then when Tomasco came back, Tomasco took that role over. Then you've got Bryce Lyden, great Tomasco, and Will Sullivan, another guy who just plays physical, aggressive on the man-down unit. Something Coach Buzzio likes in his short stick D mids. As it looks like Udell is going to start with this one around the 45-yard line, heading right from left to right on your screen. Rams heading right to left as Clark will give it to Schaefer, to Udell, to Halke, back to Udell. Now with Schaefer to Clark down low. Up top, Halke to Iannone. Up top, in the alley, Udell. Now Halke. Halke finds Pryor on the doorstep, but Lyden with an extravagant save. And the Rams go to work on the clear. Roeder runs through Adam Udell, gets it through the midfield, and timeout comes from Coach Buzzio's squad. So the Rams looking to settle it down on offense and maybe get something going, mount a little bit of a comeback with 11:18 left to go in this fourth quarter. Rams down 7, 11-4 is your score. And Caden, what do the Rams specifically need to do? Do you think maybe an invert look? Do you think a dodge off the wing? What do you think the Rams and Coach Offensive Coordinator Nick Hawtaw needs to draw up?
Well, I know we really haven't seen that much of a cloud look from New Canaan, right? We've seen a lot of stuff from the wings. I'd say keep doing that. Maybe a 1-4-1 look for the Rams would be, the best, get a couple goals on the scoreboard, as most of those goals came from step-down shots on the wings, right? Against a goalie like Marcus, he's really strong, really, had the game of his life in a sense, right? You're going to want to take time and room shooting, right? Time and room shooting. You're really going to want that. You don't want those unsettled looks, those, 50-50 shots, because chances are that Marcus is going to save those. So, right, if you're New Canaan, just settle the ball down, take those good shots, you'll get some goals on the board.
Yeah, and then, Will, for you, what do the Wreckers need to do to just kind of hold off this Rams offense? Obviously, Josh Marcus has been a brick wall and cage, but kind of that supporting crew, who else needs to step up?
Yeah, I think they've been really good in the clear today. I think that's an underrated aspect of Staples' game is how well they communicate in the clear. And New Canaan has a tough ride, but they haven't been able to win those possessions back yet today. And I think if Staples is able to just move, play defense to offense like they have today, and just work the ball from their poles and just get touches in the box, I think this is pretty much all but over. But as you said, if you want to score on Marcus, we all know you got to get an open step-down look.
So Finnegan being defended by the long stick of Shane Chandrew. Now up top with Kroll, Petrosino on him. Kroll will fall off and give a pass right down low to Rogan Lowe on the doorstep. Lowe tried the backhander, but Marcus ate it up once again. Josh Marcus with the save. As Kroll attacks him. Petrosino will send it through the middle of the field to Marullo. Now to Schaefer. Tristan Schaefer gets it in touch. Will fall back off. Luke Reed gets caught on defense. He'll come out now for Ireland as Iannone has a little bit of a fast break look. Tomasco's going to need to step up. Oh, but great trail check by Ireland. Hayes picks it up. Will Hayes looks to Garcia. Garcia's got a 4-on-3 break. Thomas Garcia stepping in. Oh, nearly had Max Lowe down low. But I think that one was tipped off of a Staples defender, and the Rams are going to get it as the whistle comes flying in.
And if you're just tuning in with us, we do have Ridgefield and Darien up after this at 7 p.m. Another product of the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Foundation and Darien Athletic Foundation. Definitely want to stay around for that one. Just 30 minutes after this one, it's the 2 versus the 3 seed under the lights at Fujitani, and no better way to end the day than, you know, a game at a venue like this under the lights.
So Max Lowe will dodge from X, pull it out, and give it behind to Doster Kroll. Kroll with the short stick of Max Marullo on him. The Rams might look to isolate this. Obviously going with an open set here now. Couple of screens coming for Finnegan as Kroll dodges down, and Doster Kroll shot just wide of the cage. Looked like he might have had the opportunity to beat Marcus, but that shot went wide. And Doster Kroll will start with it in the right alley. Defended by Caleb Smith now. Kroll will dodge behind X and look to Finnegan. Finnegan's shot goes wide. Laddick there to back it up. And Henry Laddick, an attackman during the summer season, might look to dodge on a little bit of an umbrella or cloud look here. The Rams just going to go with the big little screen here as Smith gets a good look at Kroll. Kroll fires a pass across, and Rogan Lowe's shot.
I think that one went off the crossbar,
yeah. That one looked like it might have beat Marcus. But the Rams will win the chase. And Laddick will start with it in the alley. Henry Laddick, defended by Max Marullo. Laddick will dodge behind X. Pass it off to Kroll. Doster Kroll steps in and fires a shot wide. Rams will be back there once again.
And I think if you're New Canaan at this point, you almost want those unsettled looks, transition looks, if you will, you know, to get yourself back on the board. Those really quick goals, you know, winning faceoffs clean and then just getting down and dumping and, you know, drawing and dumping to guys like Kroll. You know, these settle situations, they haven't been able to score, so look out for that.
Doster Kroll gets his defender hung up at X. Fires a shot. Didn't really have a good angle, but Campisi will be there to back up the shot.
Yeah, this has probably been, you know, the Rams' most controlled offensive possession all day, right? They just keep taking possession shot after possession shot. Really good looks, and just the Rams got to keep this up if they want to have a chance of, you know, clawing back as time ticks down.
As Cole Campisi looks to dodge on the short stick of Max Hill. Campisi rips a shot, and that one out of bounds. That one's going to go to Staples. Kroll thought it was going to the Rams, but it's going to the Wreckers as Marullo will pick it up along the end line and just bounce it through to Marcus. Marcus now will give it across to Caleb Smith. Smith back to Marcus. Marcus to the middle of the field with Hill. Max Hill taking it through, gets it in touch. And the Wreckers look to settle it down. It's going to be number 21.
Oh, flag flies.
Will Fleming. As a flag goes out on the field. So, Wreckers look to settle it down with a delayed penalty out there. Schaefer up top.
And with that man down, I mean, usually we're saying a goal is the dagger, but that one kind of feels like the dagger there. Is they're just going to milk the clock on their man down. And eventually it's just not going to be enough time for New Canaan.
So now behind with Pryor at X. Cam Pryor looks to dodge on Ireland. It's Campisi now on defense defending Halkey. Looks like Staples trying to just kind of milk this clock here. 7 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter. Rams down by 7 as Pryor elevates, looked across the crease for Fleming. That one goes out of bounds. And the Rams man down unit will come out once again. Looks like Leiden will be in the box for this one. As New Canaan fans not happy about it. I don't blame them. The Rams definitely not one of their best showings on the offensive or defensive end this year. And they are down by 7. This FCIAC semifinal. While the Wreckers look to advance to the final after a year hiatus, missing it last year off of a semifinal loss to New Canaan. Udell to Schaefer, back to Udell. He'll step in, give it off to Schaefer. Schaefer will eat up a couple of slaps from Stevens. Now down low with Pryor up top to Halkey. And Roby with a good stick forces that one loose. Tomasco will look up to Sullivan, and Will Sullivan, he's got a 4-on-3 break. Look down low to Rogan Low. Low shot sailed over the cage. And that one is going to Staples. Caleb Smith on the chase.
Yeah, just a great hustle play. Way to lay out there by Smith. And that's just exactly what you want if you coach Koshansky, right? Your guys not giving up till the whistle. This is the type of energy, if this score persists, that Staples is going to need in this FCIAC final game.
And that one, a bad pass from Petrosino, it looked like, to Smith. And the Rams will get possession here. Roby will give it to Sullivan. Will Sullivan starts it right at the midline. And Sullivan will take it over. Now with Lowe in the alley. Max Lowe behind at X now. Defended by Petrosino. Lowe will look back to Kroll, and Kroll's shot saved by Marcus. Josh Marcus with another save. As now it'll be Hill taking it through the midfield. We'll pass it off to Clark. Charlie Clark behind to Cam Pryor. As with Nick Wheel at X will be defended by the short stick of Will Sullivan. As a little look coming from the Wreckers. Something they've shown all night long. As Wheel will look for a pass. Just walking along that end line. Wheel looked like he almost lost that ball, but got it back with under 5 minutes left to go. Sullivan tried pushing him out. And Staples just eating this clock. Looking to get back to the FCIAC championship game where they'll face the winner of Ridgefield and Wilton. That game.
Darien.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, we're at Wilton. That made me, in the mindset. As Schaefer evades the push from Hayes. Sullivan now on Tristan Schaefer. Up with Avery Mueller. As cheers come from the Staples fan section.
It's almost like victory formation in football. They're just getting their touches, keeping it in the box, kind of just the practicalities of the game. And it shows, there is some respect between these two teams. They're not going to score here late, but this game, was pretty much decided in the first half and
first quarter.
And it has stayed that way. Unfortunately for New Canaan, having that 1 seed, probably one of their best years in the past decade, but they're not going to make it to the championship this year.
Iannone steps in and rips a shot high of the cage. Helmet flies off on the hit. That one, I think that was Roder. Roder's claiming it was a clean hit. Iannone shaking up on that one. Not something you want to see in the closing moments of a game.
I think another good storyline from this game will be the amount of flags thrown on New Canaan, right?
Definitely.
I think it's got to be in the double digits, yeah.
I'm sure Coach Buzzio is going to talk to them about that at practice tomorrow.
And then we had that phenomenon where, you know, people were talking about the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Niners having that, you know, turf slips. Well, there's been like at least 30 turf slips here today. So just another thing to footnote at the end of this broadcast. Kind of an interesting game. Not the result we expected at all.
Yeah, so the Rams, obviously, after this one, their season won't be done. They'll have
probably the more important tournament, state tournament.
Probably about a week or so, and they'll be back with a vengeance. Who knows, maybe these two teams meet again in that state bracket.
That game would definitely be a chippy
That would
one.
be a great game.
I think that one would probably either be played at a neutral site if it's in the semifinals or at the Rams' home turf if it comes before then. The Rams being the 2 seed in the state tournament as Udell steps in, and that shot's saved by Cam Lyden. Lyden playing well in this second half, only allowing 1 goal.
Yeah, he seems to have found his composure composed to that first quarter, which was really just a mess on the entire New Canaan team's part.
So Stevens will look up the field, give it back to Lyden, across to Braden Roby. Roby through the middle of the field. And we'll give it off to Kroll. Doster Kroll with the shot around the defender. Just not the look if you're New Canaan. And Staples will get the possession behind with Sam Petrosino. He'll launch it up to Cam Pryor. But Pryor can't corral the pass, and Kroll now taking it in. Will roll back. Tells Garcia to cut through and finds Garcia on the doorstep. Thomas Garcia, the short stick D mid, gets the goal and gives the Rams their 5th of the game with 2:27 left to go in regulation.
Yeah, always great to see a short stick D mid score, right, PJ?
Yeah, I mean, Caden, you yourself are a short stick D mid, had a couple of goals this year on the New Canaan JV squad. Shout out to the JV boys as O'Neill and Anastasi come back to the face-off dot. We haven't seen these two face off since the start of this 4th quarter. Probably the longest span we've had. No goals until that one from Garcia in this 4th quarter. Anastasi will win that one. Take it in. And give it off to Udell. Udell at X. Stevens staying with them. Now up top with Wheel.
Basically still just playing cat and mouse out there. We saw Udell run across the entire GLE, the end line.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably the prime chance, to take a shot off the face-off there. But, Staples, obviously, they know this game is essentially over, and they're just trying to, not get their guys hurt, run out the clock, and turn the focus to this FCIAC final game. A huge game for the Staples Records team.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be staying after to watch that one either in person or maybe to watch the stream on DAF Media. That one between the Ridgefield Tigers and Darien Blue Wave as Cooper Smith tripped up, flag flies. And no, that's just another undisciplined flag on the Rams as Charlie Clark looks to wind this one out. He'll give it behind to Wheel.
Yeah, and I don't think Staples, makes any offensive attack on this flag, right? You got the flag. You're really just going to want to kill the rest of the game out, right? You obviously don't have to stay in the box. You're up by 6 goals, and you just want to, kill the rest of this game out, focus that attention to that final game on Thursday.
So now Marullo in the alley. Cooper Smith on him. He'll take it along GLE with 45 seconds left to go in this one. Smith just throwing a couple of slaps at him. And the Rams, it was really that first half that killed them. They're actually beating the Wreckers in the second half by a score of 3-1. As that ball loose on the ground, Hayes will pick it up. And another flag flies. on Ireland. The Rams don't like it. Ireland getting a couple of chirps from the Staples sideline here, as that'll, pretty much do it for this FCIAC semifinal. It's all over but the final score, as just another double man up for Staples. That's, I think, the third time this game.
Staples going out in style right now. 6 on 4 to end the game. Basically a 6 on 4.
Sorry, no, it's 6 on 5. Sullivan is coming in.
Regardless of that, they've had a man up for about half the game, and they're going out with the man up. So, that's just how they shoot it here. No, they definitely are not shooting.
Yeah, they're just going to hold it.
But, that's just how this game's gone today. I mean, Caden mentioned it earlier. It's just been undisciplined, uncharacteristic of New Canaan. And that's basically how it ended. It's just undisciplined. They weren't able to fix some of those, either was, just shots after the whistle or celebration or whatever it was. But New Canaan just not able to get in touch with their fundamentals and win this one.
And, there were some bright spots for the New Canaan Rams, but ultimately it was all Staples.
Yeah, and that will do it for the first of 2 FCIAC semifinals. Live from Tom Fujitani Field, your final score is Wreckers 11, Rams 5. And after a 1-year hiatus, the Staples Wreckers are back in the FCIAC Championship, all due to a strong first half by them. And it was really, it was that offensive explosion in those first 6 minutes of the first quarter that really led them to victory.
Yeah, I mean, that game was all Staples, right? They've punched their ticket to the FCIAC Championship. It's going to be a huge game here at Fujitani Field. Now we got Richfield and Darien next. This is going to be a huge game, the 2 seed versus the 3 seed. You got guys like Carter Hagan playing off against, Chris and Kyle Colsey, the Colsey brothers. Very star-studded matchup. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and just, from the first quarter of play here today, we all had that expression on our face that, we knew it was going to be a long day. They had 7 goals in the first quarter, on track to score 28 goals in the game. And when you have a defensive breakdowns like that back to back to back, it's hard to come back from. And clearly, they tightened it up in the second half of play, but too many defensive breakdowns here for New Canaan. Weren't great on the ball, weren't great off the ball either, and just getting beat top side, underneath, basically everywhere. So not their best showing today.
So this has been PJ Neville, Will Jennings, and Caden Leslie on NCTV and DAF Media, signing off.